Welcome to the Formby Counselling and Psychotherapy YouTube channel. Today we're talking about something that's likely to affect us all at some point, and that is loss, grief and bereavement. I'm David, and I'm talking to and learning from, well, Alison. I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Yes, thank you, David. I'm Alison and I'm a trained psychotherapist. I run Formby Counselling near Liverpool in the UK. I also have my own therapy rooms available to rent by other counsellors. And the areas I cover are Southport, Ormskirk, Skelmersdale, Wigan, Warrington, St Helens and Prescot. So being close to Formby Beach and the beautiful pine woods, I also offer walk and talk ecotherapy.
Okay, would you kick us off with your experience helping people to cope with loss?
Yeah, of course. So many clients come to therapy after experiencing major losses in their lives through death, relationship breakdown or divorce, failing health, and lost jobs, homes, and even pets. The German psychiatrist and psychotherapist Fritz Perls said that working with grief and loss was primarily about unfinished business, and he pioneered the use of the Gestalt therapy empty chair technique with clients in the 1960s.
It's interesting. Could you explain what the empty chair technique is and how it can help with grief?
Yes, so I do have an actual empty chair in the therapy room facing the client. And I ask them to imagine, for example, the person they may have lost sitting in the empty chair. And then ask the client to describe their feelings towards the lost person and say the things that perhaps they never got the chance to say before the loss. Fritz Perls said that the resolution of grief and loss involves expressing both old resentments and appreciations about the lost person, as it is the unexpressed love, gratitude, admiration, appreciation, anger, and resentments that creates the unfinished business of long-term protracted grief. So some clients find it difficult to imagine the person they've lost sitting in the empty chair and imagine talking to them because they actually fear that the lost person might have rejected them or even have made fun of them for doing this. So for these clients, I might ask them to just tell me what they didn't get the chance to say to the person as a way to resolve the unfinished business of grief in the therapy relationship between myself and the client.
Yeah, really interesting. What advice would you give someone who is coping with loss or grief?
So the first thing I would say is allow yourself to feel the whole range of your emotions, because grief is a natural process of life and human relationships. And it's really important to give yourself permission to feel sadness, anger, resentment, love and gratitude and admiration and appreciation as they arise. The second piece of advice is to seek support, whether it's through talking with your friends or your family or a support group, or seeking the help of a qualified therapist. It's really important to have a support system in place to help you navigate your grieving process.
Okay, are there any other techniques or strategies that you use in therapy to help individuals cope with grief?
Yeah, so a technique such as mindfulness can be helpful to help clients develop greater self-awareness and to accept the whole range of their emotions. So we might use techniques such as meditation or breathing exercises to help clients become more present in the moment and develop a greater sense of peace and of calm. It is so fundamentally important for grieving clients to simply tell their stories of loss and to be heard and validated.
Okay. How long does the grieving process typically last, and when should someone consider seeking professional help?
So the process of grief is very different for everyone, and there's really no set timeline for how long it lasts.
Mm.
However, long-term protracted grief can cause a person to emotionally withdraw from relationships. They might have frequent bouts of irritability or anger, an inability to feel any emotions at all, confusion, obsessional thoughts, a fear of losing control. They might suffer depression, indifference, and anxiety. So it's really important to seek therapy for this type of grief.
Okay, it's good to know. Are there any particular challenges you've encountered in helping clients cope with grief?
The one challenge really is that grief is a very individual process, and what works for one person isn't going to work for another. So it's important to tailor therapy to a specific client's needs and circumstances around their loss. Another challenge is that grief is a really painful and difficult process, and it's hard to confront the emotions that arise, and also for clients to make significant meanings out of losses. But in the safe, confidential, empathic, and therapeutic relationship between clients and the therapist, it is possible to work through these challenges and to make meaning out of grief. Personally, I find the lyrics to Duran Duran's song, Ordinary World, so meaningful when processing my own grief and losses, as it was written as a tribute to the lead singer Simon Le Bon's friend who passed away in 1986. These words, "Still I can't escape the ghost of you," and "There's an ordinary world somehow I have to find," have always moved me emotionally, as I feel the unfinished business of grief is also about finding a new normal after loss.
Wow, I never knew that. I'm going to have to listen to that song again. So thank you, Alison, for sharing your expertise on this topic. I think listeners are going to find this quite helpful.
Thank you, David.
And I think next time we're back talking a little bit about depression. So we'll say goodbye for now, and hopefully people will catch us again. Bye.
Bye.